episode 175 of the All the... Wow.
175.
Yeah. Of the
Milestone, everyone. Milestone.
It is a milestone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go on.
175, Still Alive.
Yeah.
By
Amen.
Janet Ivanovich.
Janet Ivanovich.
So.
No, it already has more content than a Janet Ivanovich title.
Yikes.
Sorry.
20 seconds
Sorry,
in.
everyone.
We just lost everyone.
Sorry, everyone.
So.
Well, today is an exciting episode because it is our 175th.
Yeah.
And we're celebrating with a special guest. For a return visit, we have Beau Hutchings, seen here a couple weeks ago at the library as the Nutcracker Prince for the second year in a row. So while he was in town, we sat down and discussed some Christmas fiction, which, as you know, I'm a connoisseur of Christmas fiction. So I took Eric and Beau along for a sweet holiday journey.
Ooh.
And I don't want to give any spoilers, but let's just say
Pain
we
was
had
caused.
mixed results. I like to share things with my friends.
Yeah, you do.
So I pulled in Eric and my old friend Beau. Beau and I have been friends since we were teenagers, and we all read some books. So let's roll that. Joining us for our first annual, Eric, do you want to commit to doing this every single year?
No,
right
I
now?
do not.
Okay, Eric's on the fence, so we'll come back to that.
Yeah.
But joining us for our first annual Christmas cozy,
You said annual again.
goofy. Well, we don't have to decide right now. We'll decide next year when we do it again.
What?
But our first annual Christmas cozy, goofy mystery book club. And sure, Eric and I could just do this by ourselves, but we thought, while we have the Nutcracker in town, we might as well have Mr. Beau Hutchings join us himself. Beau, welcome back.
Hey guys, thanks for having me back.
Yeah.
Second year. Did you do anything to prepare emotionally to come back on the podcast?
No, I think I just kind of am as ready as I'm ever going to be.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I can respect that. I
Yeah.
can respect that.
No matter running on a beach is going to prepare you.
Yeah, you're right. So we always do a cozy Christmas mystery for the Page Turners Book Club. And this year I settled on Rita Mae Brown and co-written by her cat, Sneaky Pie Brown, the mystery Santa Claude. So that's what the book club did. And Eric and I got to talking, and, well, maybe it was just me, but I thought it would be fun if we all read a goofy Christmas mystery. And Beau was in on it, too. So we're going to just kick it off by telling you what book we read, telling a little bit about the synopsis, and then we'll really get into discussing these books a la book report / book club. Beau, do you want to kick us off?
Yeah, absolutely. So I read Snow Way Out.
Okay.
Yeah, right, kitschy. By Christine Husum. Do you think Husum?
Yeah.
Husom.
Yeah, that's a name.
And it was directed to me by you because
Okay.
you thought it had a fun name, and I agreed. And turns out that it is more of a Halloween time story.
Huh.
Yeah, it's sort of misleading. But
Clever.
yeah, so it was it had kind of a Christmas theme in the sense that it was snow globe centric.
Okay.
And it says here a snow globe shop mystery because every small town has a
yeah.
snow globe shop.
That's true, yeah.
So that's like the center of the action pretty much.
It's a Nightmare
but-
Before Christmas situation here.
Yeah, it can go either way.
yeah.
But it was definitely didn't go past Halloween.
Oh, it didn't even get into the Christmas season.
No.
Wow. Okay. So mine, as I mentioned, what was set a little bit more Christmas. That's so interesting. I mean, I guess we can get into this in a minute, but the cover and the marketing of that book clearly wants you to think it's Christmas. Okay. Mine is Santa Claude by Rita Mae Brown. It's Sneaky Pie Brown, her cat, who writes with her. This is a long-running series. This is about book 20, I think. I don't have it right in front of me, but oh no, it's number 17. Number 17 in the Rita Mae Brown Sneaky Pie Brown series. This was not a great read. I'll tell you some of the things I liked about it. It has illustrations every once in a while. Get pictures of some cats.
Cool.
In the basic plot is not one that I would have expected in a cozy mystery. So I guess I got to give it up to Rita Mae Brown and Sneaky Pie Brown for surprising me.
Yeah.
But the plot is basically an order of monks set up a hospice home for people who have AIDS, and it moves into a small town, and the small town is not happy that this hospice home is moving into their small town. Okay. And then one by one, the monks start getting killed off. All right. So enter our hero, Mrs. Murphy.
And her cat.
And her several cats
Oh.
who have dialogue. there's scenes where it's only the animals talking to each other.
Is this like a snow dog situation?
It is. It
Okay.
is. Yeah, it's not at all like sometimes you kind of get the inner monologue of an animal, like he's concerned, he's worried. No, this was full out like dialogue between like cats and horses and things, and the cats are trying to figure out the mystery. The cats rescue some people occasionally,
Right.
and I guess I won't give away the ending.
Okay.
But a lot hinges on the fluid sexuality of many characters.
Huh.
So
Okay.
again, surprising for a Christmas cozy.
Yeah.
What about you?
Mine was a piece of garbage.
Okay.
I read Joanne Fluke's Christmas Cake Murder. So this is book 23, but it's also a prequel to the whole series,
Oh.
which means there's no mystery. The characters are not where they're supposed to be. Like, they're like, maybe I will open up a cake. I guess one of them opens up a cake shop.
Okay.
They're all supposed to be young, but they all refer to their mom as mother and like to each other. Like, mother would most like
That
this.
doesn't sound good.
Everybody sounds like a grandmother. And the mystery is that there's a murder in this book, but the murder is in a journal that they're reading that happened 50 years ago, and it happened off screen of the journal. Like, somebody was like, "Oh no, he was murdered in a different city than I am. Now I'll have to make do with the money I have." So it's not even really a murder.
Oh.
Like, they get solved. Anyway,
Okay, so yours was not a mystery,
no.
and yours was not Christmas.
Correct.
Yeah.
Okay, so
And
starting,
yours wasn't cozy?
Yeah, I guess not. So this is a real strong start
Yeah.
for ours.
Yeah. Mine came with recipes.
Oh, it did.
Yes.
Mine didn't. Mine just came with illustrations. Bo, did
Okay.
you come with a make your own snow globe?
Yes, mine did come with the instructions to make a snow globe. It was the last like 10 pages.
Oh,
Is it
okay.
really that complicated to make a snow globe?
Wait, is that true?
No, it was like 2 or 3 pages, but too long.
But it actually has instructions on how to make a snow globe.
Yes, it does.
Yeah. Yeah.
You didn't really tell us much about the plot. You want to give us a little bit of that?
Sure. So it centers around this girl, Cameron Brooks, who's just moved back to this small town in Minnesota from Washington, D.C., where she was involved in kind of a scandal of sorts. So she's trying to restart her life in her hometown. She takes over her parents' snow globe shop, of course.
Yeah.
And they just opened up a coffee shop as attached to it, so it kind of reminds me of this shop that Nick and I grew up near called Serendipity, kind of like an all-inclusive sort of kitschy store. She stumbles upon a murder scene in her park one day after she hosts a snow globe making class. Yeah. So that's kind of where that snow globe theme starts off, as we're making snow globes. It's in a snow globe shop. And then before she stumbles upon the murder, she sees a scene depicted on the front page of this book of a man sitting on a bench. And she finds this man in the park right after she sees the snow globe. And then how it all ties together in the end and wraps up in a kind of weakish sort of climax, but it's interesting because it is a murder mystery. So you have like 5 or 6 suspects. You're on the road or on the journey with her, and it was sort of surprising to me at the end, I'd have to say, who the murderer actually is. But they are a central character.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I mean, that's interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, it sounds interesting seeing the snow globe guy and then seeing the actual guy.
Yeah.
Well, okay, so let's talk a little bit. I mean, Eric's already said that his was what word did you describe it as?
Piece of garbage.
A piece of garbage. Okay. All right. Mine, I think, was just kind of a nothing. Like,
But yours has so much plot
no,
to
I know.
it.
I know that it does. And it was interesting in that regard because I really did not see the things that were happening coming. I was like, wait, what?
Yeah.
Like, we're this okay?
You had Stephen King's Christmas.
Yeah, I guess. I think that the real weakness was like the talking animals because it just didn't really like I totally would have bought that the animals are like clued in and they're doing things, and maybe you leave it like a little ambiguous whether or not, but just having whole chapters.
Was it kind of like a look who's talking sort of scenario where
101 Dalmatians.
where they're hearing each other's thoughts? Or are they actually talking with voices?
Oh yeah, yeah.
I have to. Well,
Is it thought speak or is it
I know.
real
You know
speak?
what? Maybe I just need to look and see.
Like when the dog is talking to another dog, does a person hear it as roof, roof, roof?
Yeah. Well, I've got to say, I think that it's maybe that they're just hearing it because it is in italics whenever the animals talk.
That's thought
rather
speak,
than
yeah.
just like standard dialogue. There you go. Yep. But it just wasn't the right kind of dialogue. I think it was so much. Like you really. Going into this series, you have to know that the main characters really are the animals, and I guess that's got to be Sneaky Pie Brown's contribution. I think to the overall narrative.
You don't think that was Rita Mae and Sneaky Pie's like, no, they're dealing with AIDS.
Yeah,
we have a bunch of monks being killed off, and she's like, that's kind of rough, Sneaky Pie.
Yeah. Well, it really, I mean, I think the subject matter and like the whole just the town not liking that it was just a lot of things happening. It was very heavy.
Where does it take place?
Fictional. It wasn't a real place. I can't remember where it actually, what the cutesy name of it is. But
Whiskersville, USA.
It's something like that. Something like that. So it was, I think the mystery was satisfying. Like when you know the resolution, it's kind of one of those ones where it's almost like you needed information about the characters that you never really got. So I don't know that you could have, without making like a really huge leap, I don't think that you would have like got this mystery. And usually I don't like that when you can't actually follow the mystery.
So you said all these monks are dying?
Yeah.
Do they have distinguishable characteristics, or are they all just kind of one bland version of each other? Is it? I mean, and is it only monks getting killed?
Yeah. It starts with monks getting
One's
killed.
the very sleepy monk.
Well,
one's the bashful monk.
You're not wrong. I mean, one there was like one who was like super big, and one who like had this certain like he was really good with the kitchen stuff. So like it was focused really on like three. There were three main monks. Okay, and then when people start sort of figuring it out, Mrs. Murphy, who's like the primary character, they're trying to kill her. But luckily, animals are around. I don't think it's any spoiler to say that the main character of a 17-book series survives. So she does. Yeah, I know Beau is pins and needles over here. So she does survive.
Yeah. Is there a scene where like the cat rides a horse to go save somebody?
Yeah.
Is there really?
Basically, yeah. Things happen in a barn, and they're like, we got to get her out of this barn. And so they're getting like all the other animals together, and but. That's if this was like a really goofy light kind of mystery, I think that would have worked a little bit more. But when you have like a serial killer like killing monks, it's just weird to then have a scene where Whisker's just like, I like my milk warm.
Was it a comedic relief kind of effect, or was it seriously riding on this horse to seriously capture this person?
No, that's the thing. I don't think that it really was meant to be like the animal scenes are goofy and funny. I think you're just supposed to read the animal characters like serious, real, like primary characters. Yeah. So it's the weird juxtaposition, I think, of the heavy plot and the like animal centric, like almost like fable like with animals hanging out.
Now, forgive me, I don't know much about this author or her series, but is it always this character and her cat in every story? And how can that work every single book? So
well, Rita Mae Brown has she does standalones, she does other series. Any that are a Miss Murphy mystery do follow the same main characters.
Yeah.
So as to how it will work, I would argue that it did not, but it is still a pretty popular series. So I think it's just one of those things. You know, if you, I have to imagine too, like if
this
I would
week, Sneaky Pie is dealing with the Me Too movement.
Right, exactly. I have to think that if I were to pick up like any of the first three books, tonally it probably would have made a little bit more sense. Like I imagine the first books in this series would almost have to be a little like lighter and goofier to make that work. And then it's probably just got to a point where, you know, her writing and her interests have evolved.
What year was it written?
Oh, good question.
Is yours not new?
No, mine is 2008.
Oh. Mine's brand new. Brand spanking new.
Well, Joanne Fluke is pretty popular, and they're not. Hers are not all Christmas, and neither's Rita Mae Brown. And I've almost put one on the book list before. She has a very loyal and dedicated fan base.
Yeah. My guess is
like
everyone who moved on from the Boxcar Children moved on to this.
It's too bad that the whole like prequel thing happened, because I think usually it is a little bit more. I think they're very, very light from what I've read. They're very light, but I think it is usually a more traditional kind of mystery. So can you tell a little more about it?
So the mom, Dolores.
Again, this is Eric's talking about Christmas Cake Murder.
Yeah, Christmas Cake Murder. The mom's husband has passed away. So her three daughters, who are all young but referred to her as mother and speak like they're in Victorian England, need to find a way to get her out of her funk. So they have her help a character who needs help. Also, the grandmother's on scene too, and the grandmother sounds just as young as the others.
Okay.
So they all sound the same. This character they're helping is never really on. Is never really on page. Anyway, they're gonna put together a Christmas cake parade.
Okay.
And that's all there is for 260 something pages.
Okay.
Is just them going back and forth like, where will we put the cakes? Oh, I know a person who has a fridge. Oh, good, we'll use his fridge. Yeah, he has a nice fridge. I like my fridge. Like that kind of situation. Listen, okay. Almost every
This
other
is book number 23. Let me
Yes.
mention in the Hannah Swenson series.
Yeah.
Book 23, as Eric said, it's a prequel.
every other chapter or so, it ends with them being like, I've made this great cookie meal. And they're like, oh, really? I'd love to try it. And then there's the recipe for the cookie meal. And then the next page is all about the description of how they liked that cookie meal. So it's just like, look, so they just sat down and like, oh, let's sit down and try this meal. It's called Melt in Your Mouth Pork Roast. And there's a whole recipe. And then chapter 8 starts. That was a wonderful meal, Hannah. Dolores complimented Hannah. I love pork.
I feel like it would take me forever to read this book because I would read these recipes and be like, oh, I got to try
Yeah,
that. And I would
maybe.
get up, make them, and then forget about the rest of the book.
Maybe.
Are you a big cook?
No, but I'm a big cookie fan.
Oh, yeah. That was a wonderful meal, Hannah, Dolores complimented Hannah. I love pork, and your roast was so nice and tender. And the peppers added a lot, Lisa said. I love the mushrooms
Yeah.
and pepper gravy, Michelle added her praise. I had 2 helpings of mashed potatoes and gravy, and I've never had more than one.
I will say, in Joanne Fluke's defense,
Uh-huh.
a lot of cozies do this now, where they'll throw a recipe at the end.
Right.
Like I read a cozy that was a pizza.
Mhm.
I can't remember, like
Look,
pepperoni and death.
the
or something.
recipe isn't
Yeah.
the problem. It's that it then keeps going. We'll have leftover pork roast for sandwiches tomorrow. Does your dad like pork? He always says he's meat and potatoes man, and I know Mom used to fix pork a lot when I was growing up. Then I'll send a couple of slices. And it's just one of those like, you have a nice dress. I know. You have a nice dress. I know. I like your house. I like your house. Just
Well, I wonder if like if you're a fan of these series and these characters, if you would appreciate that they're not like focused on a mystery and are just like hanging out. Shows like like a CSI or something like that would
Yeah.
occasionally do one that was just like about the characters and not so much a mystery.
Yeah.
And I wonder if that was like the goal here.
I don't know.
What I was going to say about Joanne Fluke, though, is a lot of cozies now will sprinkle in like a couple of recipes at the end. But she was kind of the first to do
put it
that. That
throughout.
was like
Yeah.
her signature really early on. So at the time, I think it was kind of a clever and innovative thing to do as far as like shaking up the cozies.
Yeah.
But
One
it sounds
Goodreads
like this did not
reviewer
work.
says, I really hate the fact that this book was just bad. I was a big fan of Hannah Swenson books for many years. The last book in the series I read, blah, blah, blah. It finally got on my last nerve when the dreaded triangle. And this one's a prequel. A lot of 2 stars and 1 stars. In a word, awful. This is the worst one of the entire series. But yet I cannot quit. Oh, this poor guy.
Yeah,
So
he can't quit
he can't quit.
even after
Yeah,
this.
1
Wow.
star.
He
So-
gave it a 1 star. Is going to keep
Yeah.
coming back.
This book takes
Good
place
for
when
him.
Hannah has just left college and is now living with her mother. So she hasn't decided to own her cookie shop. At the end of this, she's like, I think I'll start a bakery. Ugh.
Well, the good thing though is now you came in at the great point, so now you can
Now
just
I
start
can just
with
start
book
from the
1.
beginning and I'll have
Just-
all the answers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There are several Christmas ones.
Yeah.
She has several Christmas ones. So if that's
Yeah.
what's in your heart, good for you. All right,
Great
but tell us
cooking,
a little
Hannah.
more.
I complimented Hannah.
Is that how you're going to talk from now on?
Yeah, I guess, yeah.
That's great. All right, Beau, what do you got about Snow Day Out? What did you like?
Well, it's Snow Way Out, and it turns out there actually is a way out.
Oh.
So that play on words didn't fully translate for me
Sure.
completely. What I thought about this book, I was explaining to Nick earlier, I'm not the biggest reader. I don't always have a book to read. So when I was starting it, I was really into it and really excited that I was challenging myself by finishing a book, and B, like had kind of an end goal to talk about this book. So I was in it. And then I remember you saying we were reading cheesy Christmas books. And the more I kind of had that in the back of my head, I realized, oh, the dialogue is a little cheesy. It's a little along the line of your book, Eric, with the dialogue being like, you are such a good friend, and you
I
always
didn't write
do
this.
things.
It's not my book.
Right. The tone was a little bit kind of
Yeah.
cut and dry and by the number. But all that aside, I did enjoy like I said, going on the ride of it. So Cammie has two best friends, and they're friends from high school. And I'm guessing that these girls are in their early 40s because one of the characters was adopted from Vietnam right after the Vietnam War. So if it it was written in 2015, so that'd make them in like early 40s. So that's what I'm guessing, because they never specifically say date or time or how old and all that. So that was a bit of a problem. I know that the whole story took place in 2 weeks, right? The 2 weeks before Halloween. So yeah, right. Not at all Christmas, but you know, it's a bit misleading. So I don't blame anybody. So it follows Cameron. She owns the store. Before she heads out after the snow globe making class, she finds this snow globe, of a picture of a guy sitting on a bench in a park, slumped over, almost like he's sleeping. When she goes to the park, she runs across this exact scene that she had just seen depicted in the snow globe. And the scary thing about this snow globe is when she notices it as she's locking up the door, the snow's moving. So clearly, this empty shop, somebody was there and had just moved that snow globe.
Yeah.
Ooh, right?
Yeah.
And that's in the very beginning of the book.
Scary.
So then after that, we find out that the man that was killed on the bench is a local burglar in town that had just gotten out of jail and everybody was really afraid of. So there's kind of that motive of being like, okay, well, he's gone. We don't have to worry about this guy terrorizing our town anymore. But it's still a murder. I mean, it's still somebody's life was taken.
Yeah.
Cammie goes on a wild ride through it. She's not really suspect. Everyone sees her as being an upstanding citizen, so she's never really in the throes of that. But there are the two best friends. There's this man in the shop that comes to always drink the coffee and hang around, loves the kids. And then two cops. There's the burglar's ex-wife and the burglar's current girlfriend. Ooh. So we got a little love triangle in there too. And then through it all, like there's kind of that tone of I don't know. I don't want to say that it's very sexist, if I may, but it's kind of like the position of the men or the cops, the damsel in distress, just kind of the ranks of that. It was very clear that it was written with the very like specific, roles that we play in society. But I have to say that Cammie does come out in the end as being a very strong leading female, which is very, encouraging for people. I was a little disappointed by the end, I have to say. Just because the resolution. The resolution, should I just say what happens? I mean, I'm sure it's like...
Yeah, let's not.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, the resolution being... they do figure out who the killer is, but it's kind of a happy ending. And I have a problem seeing it as a happy ending because somebody's life was still taken. There's no other murders. So there's just this one that we're trying to figure out the whole time. And the resolution was kind of like, well, we're all still friends and we're all just going to get along anyway. And I'm like, no, that's not how it works. They're like, somebody's life was taken. You found a dead body. Like the trauma that would follow it. I'd be more interested in reading about that. Okay. So...
well, let me ask you this. Did me saying we were reading cheesy books and like you having that in your head, did that help you like enjoy the book more, sort of just embracing that it is cheesy, or did it like negatively impact? So you started thinking of it as cheesy?
No, I don't think that I was judging the fact that it was a cheesy book. I think having that in the back of my head, I kind of got why we were reading these murder mystery Christmas stories. Yeah. So I knew... I knew that it was going to be kind of like a silly ride, but I think anytime I read anything, and I'm kind of an easy critic when it comes to seeing shows and stuff like that, like I'm very easily impressed. I just let myself go and just kind of let it wash over me. And I was one of Cammie's friends. I was a snow globe patron and a coffee shop attendant. So I let myself go. The dialogue is where I had the problem. Okay. It's like I could really see them setting up the scene very nicely, talking about the foliage of Minnesota and all that. And then as soon as they started having dialogue, I was like, well, I don't talk like that with my friends, and a lot of people don't. So that was where I had the problem the most. So that was a little cheesy. But I don't think that the preconceived idea of us reading kitschy stories was going to help me judge it. Okay. I enjoyed it.
Good.
All right. There you go.
So this is by Christine Houston. I just looked up. It is a 3-book series. Wow. So Snow Way Out is book 1, followed by The Iced Princess, and finally Frosty the Dead Man, which is great.
Okay.
I mean, that's a great title. I mean, you can't... Yeah. So they all sound like they're snowy and Christmassy, but maybe it's just the snow globe is all you need.
Right. Oh, and what I forgot to mention is I was actually kind of on the impression, and I know that famous saying, you can't judge a book by its cover. I mean, I kind of already did. But the picture is a snow globe shop with a snow globe in the center. I had my impression was that she was going to be stuck in the snow globe.
Oh.
You know, and kind of like a smaller figure living in the world of the snow globe and then seeing the people outside. So I was kind of expecting that ride. I'm hoping the next 2 books introduce that idea into it, because I think that'd be really neat. Because I have to say, I don't think that the snow globe aspect of it all was utilized well enough.
Yeah.
I think that first image of her finding the snow globe with the snow moving was really cool. She finds one more made by the same person, and it's literally, I think, just an afterthought, being like, oh no, we got to put another snow globe in there. Have a cop walking through a park. And then she finds a cop walking through a park. I was like, well, you could find a cop walking through any park, you know? So it wasn't a coincidence, and that didn't tie in at all. So that theme was a little weak for me.
Are you going to read The Iced Princess or Frosty the Dead
Sorry,
Man?
buddy.
I think I'm going to skip to Frosty the Dead Man.
That's a good choice.
Yeah.
That's a good choice.
I would like the cover to be like a snow globe, but inside the snow globe is like a crime scene. You got the tape up, you got the chalk marker, and he's like, why would this be a snow globe?
Well, you ruined your Christmas present. That's Bo and I went in on it together, and we got that part.
All right,
so.
thanks.
Yeah, you're
Do
welcome.
people make custom? I mean, I guess,
Yeah, you can make it custom.
make it.
So
Yeah.
Bo said the back of the book tells you how to do it.
Yeah.
All right.
They explain the ingredients in the story, so you don't even have
Yeah.
to have the menu in the back, but it's just there to remind you.
Yeah.
That's good. It's a nice refresher. Well, I already know the answer to this, Bo, so I'm not even going to ask you whether or not this got you in the Christmas spirit. Eric, let me ask you,
No.
did it feel Christmassy?
No,
It didn't.
it didn't.
Okay.
No, it didn't feel Christmas. I don't know what the point of this book was.
Okay.
I really don't.
One for the fans, I guess.
It-
Except for that one guy who gave it 1 star.
I like reading it. There's no plot. Like from beginning to end, it's just them preparing for this cake thing. But I mean, there's never. I guess maybe is that the cozy thing that there's very little obstacles in the way. Like it's a Hallmark movie, so it's like people are pretty good at the beginning and they stay pretty good to the end.
Well, I think in any good mystery, part of the purpose of the mystery is to propel the characters, and the main focus is rarely like let's figure out this mystery. It's kind of like to move the whole world along. And I think in cozies, I think the balance of that has shifted a little bit even stronger. That the murderers really in a firm like second place to like the characters themselves. So I do think that's an element of it, but it sounds like this put the murder maybe at like 3rd, 4th, 5th
like
position.
I said, it's a journal
like
entry.
The characters, that delicious ham they were talking about, grandma, and then maybe the murders 5 or 6 down.
The murder is 50 years ago in somebody's journal that happened to a person that isn't related to them. It's rough.
Okay.
And it deals with like the idea of like finding your birth mother very like easily. I don't know. It's just like
Easy
a
like
character
Sunday
finds
morning.
their birth mother and they're just like, oh,
Wow.
it's you.
Was she imprisoned in a snow globe? Because
No.
that could.
No,
okay.
no,
All right.
none of that.
I thought maybe like a crossover, but I guess not.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I mean. I got to give it up to Rita Mae and Sneaky Pie Brown because it did. I did not love this book.
Yeah,
I wouldn't
you guys
put
got
it,
some plot heavy stuff.
I know.
Compared to
I
this
wouldn't.
thing
I
read.
would not put this high on my list of like, oh, this is a great Christmas book. Though I am pretty lenient when it comes to like when I rate something that's a Christmas book. I'm usually like, this is 3 Christmas stars and maybe like 1.5 real stars.
right,
You know what I
sure.
mean? But it was very
2 stars and a
It was
Christmas
very
angel.
Christmassy, like the snowy atmosphere and
Yeah.
everybody bundling up and the decorations and stuff.
Wow.
It was very firmly set at Christmas. So
Yeah.
I'll give her props for
All right, I
that.
didn't have that.
I know you're not going to read more of this.
No.
I don't see myself reading any more of this series
Yeah.
as
I'm
well.
gonna read
It just
Beau's
didn't
book or
cut it for- I
something.
know. I was just going to say, if we had to vote on one, I think we would all maybe go with Snow Way Out.
Yeah,
So,
his Halloween book. Yeah, that was
Yeah.
clever. I should have read a Halloween book during Christmas.
so it was actually set around Halloween. Like it was.
Yeah, the culmination is a Halloween party.
Yeah.
Literally, and actually 2 days before Halloween.
Yeah, that's how you celebrate Christmas.
Right. I mean, it's confusing. The title is Snow Way Out. And the other thing about it, like I was saying, there is a way out. There literally it has so little to do with snow globes, except for the fact that she's working in a snow globe shop and every now and then she'll dust them. But she spends more time in Brouhaha next door, the coffee shop. So most of it should be,
Great name.
yeah, it
Great
should be
name.
called like, I don't know, something more
Yeah.
coffee centric.
Okay.
Yeah, because that's a little less confusing as far as
Mahahaha.
yeah.
Yeah.
Wahahaha.
Yeah.
Brew Way Out.
Yeah.
I mean,
I would take it.
I'll take my
Okay, all
coffee black-hearted.
you know, and that's pretty good.
Thank you.
There's nothing that says fall or anything about
Yeah.
this cover either. It's all like whites and pastel.
Hey, Christmas cake has nothing to do with murder in
You're
this
right.
book.
You're right.
So,
Christmas cake murder.
Cammie Brooks is about to have her whole world turned upside down.
Like a snow globe, yeah.
Because a snow globe. Do you have one?
I'll have one what?
Do you have a tagline? My tagline is, it takes a cat to write the perfect mystery. Yeah, thank you. Look at that cat. Cute
It's
little
Christmas many years ago when topping young Hannah Swenson's wish list is becoming the go-to baker in Lake Eden, Minnesota. But as Hannah finds out, revisiting holiday memories can be murder.
cat. Yeah, that's long.
So, all right, a Hannah Swenson holiday mystery with recipes.
No, that's
All
not
right.
good.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
Kirkus says of Blackberry Pie murder, Lake Eden's favorite character, Hannah Swenson, finds herself on the wrong end of the police investigation in Fluke's good-natured 19th installment. That's not really a review.
yeah.
They're like, oh, Kirkus described the book.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
That's true. That's not a review.
yeah.
All right, so I think we're all pretty much in agreement that Beau's book seemed like it was the best.
Yeah.
Mine was in second position.
Yeah. Yours
and
seems
yours.
bonkers.
It was. It
That's
was
the
bonkers.
thing, yeah.
That's what propelled it. I'm
Yeah.
sorry that I missed the book club.
Yeah.
I wanted to know what other people thought
Yeah.
here in the library. And yours was the stinker, the clunker.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
hated
Christmas
it.
cake was burned.
It,
Nobody wanted
it. Was like I was reading it and like halfway through, I'm like, I still have 50%. It like hurt my brain to realize I had to read more.
Yeah.
So
The thing that did frustrate me a little bit about No Way Out is the fact that it is a murder mystery, so you're constantly recounting the details that happen.
Yeah.
So it'd be, every chapter would be like, okay, no, I had time to sit and think about what just happened. It's
Yeah.
like, I know we just read it. Can
Yeah.
we move forward?
Yeah.
So a lot of the beginning of the chapters would start off of recounting the previous chapter, which is fine in a series, but I want to just keep going. It could have been a little bit shorter for my liking.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully we'll do better next year on our second annual Christmas book club.
Yeah.
You know, maybe what we should do, we should get the next book in each of these series and just pass them around the table.
Yeah. A Yankee swap.
The Frosty the Snowman in the third series of
Frosty the
Snow
Dead
Way
Man,
Out.
yeah.
Frosty the Dead Man, excuse me. That must be a Christmas-centric one.
Yeah, I would think so. I
Yeah,
would think
yeah.
so. I didn't see the...
No,
I
somebody
didn't-
just dresses up as Frosty for Halloween.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
well, we did it.
Yep.
We did it anyway.
All right.
And I think we're all better and more
Yeah.
Christmassy for it.
Yeah. What a Christmas Eve this has been.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. All right. Well, thanks everybody for doing this. I feel like I'm the one who forced this on you, Eric. So,
I don't know what happened. Yeah.
yeah. It was
I,
pretty
I
rough.
remember I came up to you and said, what if we all read a different one?
That's true.
But why would I have said that?
You're the one who did. You're the one who found that
Yeah.
book.
It was like I was possessed for a second.
Yeah. By the spirit
So,
of Christmas.
I guess.
Yep.
Yep.
That must be it.
All right.
All right. Well, Beau, if you're back next year, we're doing it again. I think it's made. All right. Well, thanks for joining us, Beau.
Hey, thanks for having me. Good to be back.